Cathy. I'm going to show you how to make my little tiny chocolate pieces that are infused with THC and very high CBDs. So the first thing I do is put a pan with water in it, start heating it up, and on top I put a frying pan for my double broiler. The reason I do this, it gives me more space to stir and blend. That's not just a regular double broiler. And seeing how I really need to have my CBD and THC completely smoothly infused in everything, I want to be able to really mix it well. So that's my choice. And just, I add some sugar-free chocolate chips that have sweetened with stevias to keep the sugar down. The sugar is bad for us, particularly for cancer. And because it's lower in fat, I have to add some coconut oil so the chocolate doesn't burn. So I just give this time to start to melt. Today I'm going to be adding a distillate, or an isolate, I should say. And this is pure CBD powder. It's 1,000 milligrams that I get from ACC in Spokane Valley. And this is what it looks like. It's just this fine, fine, fine CBD powder. And that's an ACC brand. And this one is a Gaga brand, and it's 1,000 milligrams of THC that is 82.5% THC, and then it has a 0.34 CBD. So these are going to be powerfully balanced. So I'll just give this a chance to warm up and melt, and then we'll go through the next process. Just to bring you up to date, I have these premium baking chips by Lily's Dark Chocolate. It's no sugar added, non-GMO, verified. It's 55% cocoa and stevia sweetens. So I'm using 2 bags of these because these are going to be pretty strong if I don't break it up. So I've already got 1 package in there, and I'm adding another. I also added some organic virgin coconut oil, and it's a Kirkland brand. So I'm working with that, and then I only added this 3-ounce dark chocolate because that's what I had in the house. I have another one, but it's a different flavor, and this one's mint flavored, so I didn't want to add coconut to the mint. So this will be enough, and I've got the coconut oil in there melting, and this is how it starts. So two bags of chocolate chips and 1 3-ounce bar of 70% dark chocolate, and then big rounded teaspoon that I didn't measure very much of the Kirkland organic coconut oil. So they'll be small because the dose, I want micro dosing. So I don't get high, I just get happy and feel good, and anxiety disappears. And what can be better? Chocolate and CBDs, feeling good, healing inside. This is going to be my secret weapon against cancer right here. So we'll get back to you after we get nice and melted. But just keep stirring. When we add the isolates, we'll really be stirring. But right now I just don't want the chocolate to get too hot. I want it to get nice and smooth. By not overheating the chocolate, it responds better. And by not cooking the THC and CBDs, I don't have to worry about losing potency to overcooking like you get with baking. This way I get more doses and hopefully much less loss of potency. I wanted you to see my get up here with this frying pan, and also at the temperature in which I've done my melting. I'm turning it down because it looks like it's all melted. I'm going to turn it down. I'll probably just turn it off. So everything you can see is nice and smooth, and it's now time to add the magic. So this will be the THC magic. I'm going to take it right off the counter, or off the fire, and start sprinkling. Got to get every last piece of powder out of there. We don't want to give it all away. Do not do this and lick your finger. You won't like the effect or the taste. And I'm going to add my CBDs. And now I'm just going to keep stirring and stirring and stirring. Mushing it all in, and it just works so much better in a frying pan by doing this, and just keep it going and going. I want every piece to have the same level of potency. I don't want any surprises. So this is probably the most important part of the process here, is the continuous mixing, so we don't have any bad reaction. This is there's a lot of medicine in here. That way I'll be able to have little tiny chocolate treats every few hours without worrying about loads of sugar, and good healthy dark chocolate, and lots of the medicine. Keeps you happy and healthy. So I'll just keep stirring here, and I'm going to actually start to the cooling process, and then I'm going to remelt it, because that gives your chocolate a shiny finish. Now if I'm doing it just for myself, I wouldn't bother with the shiny finish, but it does make the appearance so much nicer. It's just, medicine works the same way without tempering. This is it. Actually, at this point, it'd be good to go, and you get out a sheet of, I use parchment paper, any brand will work, aluminum foil works, or you could actually use it right on granite. Chocolate does really well straight on the granite. It doesn't stick to anything. But my countertop granite are tiles, and I don't want to deal with grout lines, so I'll just do this. Keep stirring. Well, I took a break and just kept the chocolate at a really nice temperature, probably about the 80s, and stirred it a lot. So I'm not a professional chocolatier at all. I don't have fancy kitchen tools, and that isn't my goal. It's just to make me a micro dose. So I try to do things pretty easy. So here we are, totally infused chocolate. And in this batch are 1,000 milligrams of THC, or actually 800, probably 60, and 1,000 milligrams of CBD. So these need to be very small. I need to be getting close to 100 pieces out of here to keep my thing right. So they're going to be small, and probably, take a look at this. I'm thinking that might be my half dose right there. So I'm using like 1/4 of a teaspoon of chocolate. And I'm not careful about weighing, because it's just for myself. and I know how to be careful with my doses. So I'm sure there's some cool tools out there, even like a frosting tube, a cake decorating tube would be awesome. But this is what I have today, so this is what I'm doing. Putting it on parchment paper where I'll leave it until it's completely cooled and then pop them right off. If you've got a big refrigerator, you can throw it in there, I suppose, but I just prefer to air dry it. And air cool, I should say. So that's way I won't be consuming too much chocolate or too much THC, because I really don't want to be messed up. I want to be lightened up and happy and dosed with good medicine. So this is going to give me many, many, many little coins of chocolate, and I'll have plenty of opportunity to test and trial because I'll have so many choices here. I'll have a lot of pieces before this is over. Sometimes if I'm really lazy, I'll just pour the chocolate down on a piece and smear it and make it flat and break it in little pieces. But this is a little easier to manage, your pieces being more consistent. So this is the only trick there is. I'll be having lots of microdoses. There's some other options you have. I have some pistachios. I'm just gonna pop them right on the top of that chocolate while it's still cool. And these are some dried, non-sulfured, organic, sun-kissed apricots. And I can either dip it or drop some on it. So now I have a chocolate covered apricot, which is an amazing cancer fighting food. So always be thinking, you don't have to have it just one way. You can flavor it with anything. You can add ground walnuts, whatever you want. But I like it simple.